Namaste. That's an expression you may have heard and you may use indeed quite regularly, especially if you come from an Eastern culture. It is used particularly commonly in many Eastern faith traditions, Buddhism, Jainism, Hinduism, and more, as a greeting. Um, Literally, as I understand it, meaning I bow to you, or I see your true self, the essence within you, the divine within you. It's a really beautiful greeting of acknowledgement. And we know, I think, that when our name is called or we hear a pronoun that is describing us, that it is kind of like calling to us, kind of acknowledging us. And I have to say, when Anya or Claire is being addressed as she or her, it really resonates with me. It really does call to this inner person. It is an acknowledgement. And I think that's probably what most trans people feel. And it's why when people deliberately, and it's not always the case that they are being offensive, deliberately offensive, they may have genuine, transcritical folk, for example, do genuinely believe, perhaps, let's say, a male to female trans person is a man in their view. I disagree, but that is their view. But they are in what's the word? Misusing a pronoun, failing to acknowledge the person, failing to acknowledge the soul, failing to greet and be gracious to them. So I think that is why it is such an offense to many trans people when they are misgendered. That's the word, I think. I think, having said that, we probably need to show some compassion to those that do perhaps deliberately even misgender, because they are not recognizing the true self within. They are not recognizing at a soul level our humanity and our true self, our true essence, which kind of, in my view anyway, transcends gender. So compassion, because they do not see. They just see physical form. They just see biology. They're constrained by a very dualistic view of the world. And if, like me, your worldview does encompass a faith tradition, you do believe we have souls, you do believe we have an essence within us, it's important, I feel, that we acknowledge that in others. Indeed, that is the teaching of all the major faith traditions. Recognize and love one another, the so-called golden rule. So please, if you're watching this and you don't think that misgendering matters, using false pronouns matters, for many people it does. And I suggest you might actually want to consider this point yourself. Are you really actually not acknowledging a human being on a basic level of humanity? Sounds a bit extreme maybe, but I thought I would offer this as a point of view.